Welcome back to Been There, Watch That. Let's see if I remember how to do this. It's been a while.
It's been a couple of weeks.
But we're at beentherewatchthat.com. Go back, check out our old reviews. Joe does a great job keeping that website looking good. And you'll go back, you'll see our popcorn ratings. We do a burnt popcorn all the way up to mop bucket popcorn. That's our rating system here. And been on a, would you say, a bit of a low point lately.
Hiatus.
Not a whole lot of mop buckets being thrown
That's
around
because you
lately.
guys don't know good quality movies.
Well, now until today, now we might have a mop bucket today.
Yeah,
From,
yeah.
from the year 1992.
Listen at him. He's trying to promote his own deal here.
My Cousin Vinny.
Fishing for mop buckets, are you, Joe?
Hey, you can't get them if you don't look for them. It's just like the lottery. You can't win if you don't play.
And as usual, I'm the odd man out. I've never seen this, but Dave and Joe both have seen this movie before, right?
Yeah, it'd been a long time since I'd seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. My cousin Vinny. Vincent Gambino. Anyway, all right. So, Joe, you want to start us off? Go over the cast?
All right, so rundown and cast call. So for the rundown, New York lawyer Vinny has never won a case. When his teenage cousin Bill and his friend Stan are accused of murder in the backwater Alabama town, it's up to a nervous Vinny to save him from jail, even though he has never tried, but he's only ever tried personal injury case before, and none of them successfully. So for the casting call, and it's a pretty lengthy casting call here, guys. So
It is. And, you know, this for how big a movie do you think they expected this to be?
Well, it had Joe Pesci in it, so I mean, it had to be.
Yeah,
I remember seeing a lot of the posters around when we was kids. I remember.
Really? Was it that big a deal?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So Joe Pesci plays Vinny Gambini. He's known for Goodfellas, Raging Bull, and Home Alone, which you can catch Home Alone in our archives. Marissa Tomei, the movie that got her claim to fame, she plays Mona Lisa Vito, and she's known for The Wrestler and What Women Want. Ralph Macchio plays Bill Gambini, and you may recognize Mr. Macchio from the Karate Kid movies. And this one I completely forgot about. He was in The Outsiders, which is in our archives as well. Mitchell Whitfield plays Stan Rothenstein. Steen or Stein, guys, I forget.
Yeah, because that was part of the dialogue. He's like, it's Steen, I think.
Yeah.
Or Stein, yeah.
So he's gone on to do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and many other cartoons voiceover work. Mm-hmm. Okay. Fred Gwynn plays Judge Chamberlain Haller. And we had this discussion before the show. Justin did not know, Justin made a comment that he did not know Mr. Gwynn. And Justin, I told you that I knew that you had seen his gentleman before, but did not realize it.
I've been racking my brain. I still can't think.
Okay. Have you ever seen The Munsters?
Nope.
Herman Munster? Google The Munsters. He was Herman Munster on The Munsters.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've ever seen The Munsters.
Yeah, it's
you may
it's
have not
interesting.
Watched the show, but no.
Yeah, I was gonna say The Munsters is pretty old. He's too young for that.
Well, Justin and I are the same age.
Yeah, but you watch older shows.
That's true. And he was known for Car 54, Where Are You? So you never seen at least a picture of the Munsters.
Maybe.
Munsters. Okay. Lane Smith plays Jim Trotter III. He's known for The Mighty Ducks and Son-in-Law. Austin Pendleton plays John Gibbons, and he's known for Mr. Nanny, Short Circuit, The Muppet Movie, and Finding Nemo. Bruce McGill plays Sheriff Farley. He's known for Black Sheep, Animal House, which is in our archives, and Law Abiding Citizen. Maury Chaykin plays Sam Tipton, known for War Games, Dances with Wolves, and Mouse Hunt. Raynor Sheen plays Ernie Crane, known for Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Rookie, and The Quick and the Dead. James Rebhorn plays George Wilbur, and he's known for Blank Check, Independence Day, and Scent of a Woman, which is also in our archives. And Chris Elliott plays JT, and Mr. Ellis is known for Armageddon, Transformers, and Apollo 13.
Yeah.
So a little long casting call on this one, guys.
Yep. A lot of 3 or 4 times you've said back in our archives. So these are folks that we've seen on screen before.
Yeah.
As part of this podcast.
And I think all of them have had, significant roles in other places where a lot of times you don't see that.
Right.
So,
Yeah, because
good
usually,
cast.
because for those of you out there that don't know or wondering why didn't Joe say this person or this person? When I go through the casting calls, I look at their IMDb's of what movies they're known for, and if the other work that they've done isn't notable, I usually don't add them.
Yeah.
So this one we had a lot of notable people on.
Joe Pesci's 78 years old now.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this our first Pesci review? I don't
Second.
Think he's been
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, he looks totally different in this movie than that movie, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because Home Alone, because they was basically
Home Alone,
right on the.
number 3, folks. Go back and check it out.
And I don't think Joe Pesci does any acting anymore.
Yeah,
Really?
He kind of quit, and who's the guy?
Pursue a musical career?
The guy had to beg him to do The Irishman, which is a Netflix original
Ah.
gangster movie, but he basically shot him down like multiple times because he's like, I'm done with movies. I don't want to act anymore. But you got talked into it.
Okay, so My Cousin Vinny came out in 1992. Home Alone came out in 1990.
Yeah, it says his present comeback in Martin Scorsese's The Irishman. You probably haven't seen him since 1998.
Wow.
Because he was in the 4th Lethal Weapon in 1998.
I forgot he was in Lethal Weapon.
Lives in New Jersey.
He's good in The Irishman, I think.
I haven't seen The Irishman.
Me either.
It's gritty, it's violent, and it's long. But if you're into those gangster flicks, it's pretty good.
Well, now The Irishman in 2019 is his most recent work. I'm on his IMDb. Okay, so he was in 2018 for a commercial for Google, for their Google Assistant, Home Alone Again.
Really?
Yeah. And I completely forgot about that commercial. Yeah, he kind of went on a kind of a stint of no work because he did Lethal Weapon 4 98, and then he went back and did The Good Shepherd in 2006. Didn't show up again until 2010, and then he did a little bit of work in 2015, and then 2018 and 2019. The Irishman's the most recent piece of work he's done.
Would you guys call this a comedy? Comedy drama?
Absolutely.
Maybe not a straight comedy, but
I don't know.
It's pretty funny. There's a
Yeah.
lot of one-liners. And a lot of good scenes. And I think, just the go-between between, Marissa Tomei and Joe Pesci.
yeah.
Like even when they first pull into town. You stand out like a sore thumb. You fit right in. They're both, wearing black leather and obviously not from the country.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, those
Kinda
two
starts
walking
out.
around town is just funny in itself.
Yeah.
The juxtaposition between them and everybody else.
So, yeah, between those two, and then between Vinny and Judge Holler, the
Yeah.
interaction between those two.
Yeah, gosh.
Okay, did you guys see this? Okay, let me pull it up here. Oh, I don't know what I did there. So whenever the public defender Gibbons is giving his speech to the jury, and he starts to stutter, did you see the guys in the background just dying,
Yeah.
laughing?
Yeah.
Did you catch that, Justin?
No.
Yeah, so if you go back and watch it, when he's standing there stuttering at the jury, Joe Pesci, Ralph Macchio, even the gentleman that played the bailiff, they're all just dying laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even trying to hide. Well, they're trying to hide it, but they're doing a terrible job
Yeah.
at it.
That was one of the more funny parts that I think are overlooked. Especially when he spits on the jury.
Yeah.
Spittle pops out. And there's
Yeah,
a public defender.
these two boys are looking at a possible
Yeah.
going to the electric chair. And,
Yeah.
And the one friend is like, I don't know about Vinny, your uncle. It seems like he's not a very capable lawyer. So they bring in this other guy, which
Yeah.
he seems polished until it comes time to stand up and talk to the jury. And
Well,
then he just
yeah.
totally falls
So
apart. And what else has he been in? He looked familiar, but
Now, who is it?
the
The guy
public
with-
defender.
Okay, he was in Mr. Nanny, Short Circuit, The Muppet Movie, and Finding Nemo. Is what he's known for.
Yeah,
looks super familiar for some reason.
yeah. He's played a lot of back roles. But yeah, I mean, you got two kids from the Bronx here. One of them's obviously Italian and dark complected, rolling through the South and steals a can of tuna accidentally. But
And that's what
then,
gets him
then
in all.
Havoc gets unleashed.
Yes.
And he ends up calling his cousin Vincent
Gambini.
Lombardia Gambini.
They get arrested. I got a real kick out of a little bit of interrogation going on.
Yeah.
And the police officer is asking, the other friend, not the Ralph Macchio
Yeah.
guy. He's talking about
Stan.
murder, and that kid thinks he's talking about a can of tuna. And he's like, basically, he's asked him why he didn't get out of the car and call the police.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
on his friend for having
Why
a
didn't you
can
try
of
to
tuna.
stop him? I didn't know about it.
It's like,
Is
accused
it that
him
big a deal?
of going along with the murder, and he's like saying, if you just drove off after murdering something, why wouldn't, or if your friend murdered somebody, wouldn't you call the police? But he thinks he's talking about tuna. He's like, what? Call
Yeah.
the police over a can of tuna?
Yeah.
That was funny.
So kind of a little foreshadowing into the situation.
They just don't even know they're being accused of murder for like the first 5-10 minutes.
I think it might have been longer than
Yeah.
that. It seemed like for the first hour.
Yeah.
I like how he calls his mom, and he's like, "Hey, Ma," which
Yeah.
is so funny because I have relatives in New Jersey, and that's how they talk. They don't say mom or mommy or mother. It's Ma.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ma. And I like how the Stan's like, they all sleep with each other, be a backwood cousin. And it's like, huh? And they're
Some
always
of them
looking.
do.
Some of them do.
Yeah.
Sleep with their cousins.
Yeah, they're all just staring at him. Of course, here we are in rural West Virginia. If somebody,
Yeah.
you could have placed this in West Virginia and
Yeah.
wouldn't have changed a thing because they would gotten the same exact results.
Yeah.
Somebody from New Jersey coming into town
Yeah.
and talking like that. Everybody else would have stopped and stared and go,
Oh yeah.
Kind of the montage at the beginning, they're driving along and it pans to like a sign that says like dirt for sale. Like just everything's very country. And he's kind of like,
Yeah.
one friend's like, we gotta be careful around here. We'll give you the chair for,
Yeah.
a
Well, I
month or
mean,
so.
two kids from New York in the Bronx. It would be an eye-opening deal. So yeah, funny stuff across the board. Now, I really, that's the only part of the movie I didn't buy. It wouldn't be that hard for the sheriff because he wasn't treating them like murderers. I mean, he had one just sitting in his office. Neither one of them were cuffed.
right.
And the other one's in a storage room. I mean, if you thought they had murdered somebody, you'd have them cuffed up and bound and.
But now this is also, you also got to think this is small town America. So
Maybe.
I could see a small town police precinct, just being a little more relaxed on.
Not if they killed your friend and somebody
Okay.
that you knew. You know what I mean?
Right.
If somebody rolled in here and murdered in cold blood somebody that we all knew that worked at the local, Handy Mart or something.
Right.
Nah, they would
Okay.
have
okay.
him cuffed and drugged and
Okay. Now that okay,
sitting
I'll
in
buy
a corner,
that.
not able to move. Because,
I'll buy that.
Because in small towns, everybody knows everybody. They take it personal, I guess.
But they couldn't find a murder weapon, so
yeah.
at this point, they really can't just drag him out by their feet and say you're guilty.
No, but I
maybe,
just mean they would take more precaution for somebody that murdered someone in cold blood.
true.
And that's what I thought. I was just like,
Okay.
they're pretty lax about it. But anyway, that's just part of
Is that
me
lower?
being critical.
A little unusual that his cousin is like 30 years older than him or whatever.
Nah,
No, not really.
I have cousins that are
Okay.
older.
So yeah, speaking to cousin Vinny's lack of experience, it comes out that he's asking him, well, you've done pretty well in like courtrooms before. He's like, this would be my first time. In a
Yeah, I like
trial.
that whole row of questions. Like, yeah,
I've
took
been
me
doing
6
it-
tries to pass the bar.
Yeah. I've been practicing about 6
Studying.
weeks.
Yeah. Well, I like how they bring him into the cell and starts talking to the boys, and the ones just starts freaking out. He thinks
That's yeah. Ralph Macchio's asleep on the top bunk.
yeah.
He thinks he's coming in to rape him, and he's like, listen, it's me or someone else. It's your butt on the line.
Yeah.
You're getting screwed either way.
Yeah. He just that kind of comic wit of, having just a clear, honest conversation and completely turning it on its head. That's the kind of stuff I just find hilarious because it's not normal because there's a lot of this slapstick stuff that goes on that you know is coming, but this was just kind of just general dialogue that can be interpreted two different ways.
Yeah.
Now, I found this interesting. Did you guys know the American Bar Association's publication, the ABA Journal, ranked this movie number 3 on its list of top 25 greatest legal movies?
Really?
Yes.
Well, I know that
can
they
see that.
portrayed the legal system very accurately. Because Lynn, I'm not sure who Lynn was.
Jonathan Lynn?
Yeah, it says he has a law degree from Cambridge. And that he gets terribly irritated when he sees films in which the legal procedure is obviously wrong. So Lynn made sure that the legal proceedings were correct. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, part of the conflict is like this judge who is like things are going to be done exactly as I say. In
Yeah,
my courtroom.
procedures.
He's very old
Follow the
school,
procedures.
Southern gentleman type of guy, and he's like,
Yep.
Yeah, you respect the court, no nonsense, no...
Yeah.
Then he comes in with no tie on and just like
Oh,
a
yeah,
leather
coat.
jacket. He's
Yeah.
like, what the heck?
Yeah. It
You will
goes
come
sideways
back.
from there.
You will come back in. You will have a suit, and it will be made of some sort of cloth, not
Yeah.
not leather. He's like, okay. Then he
Yeah.
comes back like a day or two later and isn't wearing the cloth
Yeah.
suit. He's like,
You were
"What did we-"
serious
he's
about
like,
that?
Yeah, you were serious about that? That was good.
Well, you know Marissa Tomei's from Brooklyn, but her mom was an English teacher, so she wasn't allowed to talk. Or she had to talk properly.
Really?
Yeah, so she had to come up with her to get outside of her normal speech.
She's full blown Jersey in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
phenomenal.
gosh. Yeah.
I mean,
And you know they tried to cut the studio people tried to cut her role out of this, but
Oh,
then
that-
they met her and they're like, "Yep, never mind."
oh, there's no way.
That would have ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has just taken so much away from it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, probably, maybe you could find other ways to keep it entertaining, but those two back and forth.
Yeah. So
Good
the
stuff.
scene where Vinny's trying to explain his quote unquote real name to Judge Holler and he flips and hits the chessboard, that wasn't that was completely accidental. That was not on purpose. But the director thought it was so funny and authentic he decided to leave it in the film.
Basically, he shouldn't technically even be allowed to be their attorney because he's like,
Yeah, he's not vetted by the judge yet.
the
Yeah.
judge is like trying to look up background on him. He's giving him fake names and stuff. I got a kick out of the two of them going into the local Greasy Spoon, the diner, and they're looking at the menu for a while, and then the
Yeah.
camera pans down and it just says breakfast,
Lunch,
lunch,
dinner.
There's like 3 things on the menu.
He
Breakfast,
takes a big
$1.99.
scoop of lard and puts it on the thing.
Makes some grits. He's like, what's this? Yeah. But that comes into the trial later, the whole grits thing.
Yeah, it's funny on how these little nuances throughout the movie all revolve around the court case that plays key roles that you don't even think about. You don't think about the breakfast meal
Yeah.
being a key component of the case.
Of the defense.
Yeah, and then when Vinny gets his car stuck, and they show the rear axle, the one tire spinning, the
Yeah.
one sitting still. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just think it's funny. Yeah, he got stuck in the mud, he falls in the mud, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And here's another one that I didn't even know, didn't see during the recess when Vinny and Lisa are at the restaurant discussing Lisa's photos. In the background, a mint green convertible with a white roof drives by.
Yeah.
Didn't even see it.
Yep.
So it's funny how they just kind of.
Oh yeah. No, that's a good job by the director or the writer or whoever kind of puts that parts in there. I thought that was excellent. So they actually filmed the prison scenes in a real prison.
Really?
Yeah, in Georgia, I think. And,
Yeah, they don't get messed with too much in jail. Luckily,
Well, they
luckily for them, they just kind of.
Yeah, they went to solitary confinement to do the shooting, but they had to do it while prisoners were there. So, like, when they were carrying their blankets, the first scene where they're carrying their blankets to the cells and you see all the prisoners yelling, those are real prisoners. And they had to cut through some of the audio because they said they were yelling nasty stuff to them, you know, and they had to take the tone down parts.
Yeah.
They said they were super scared because they were in a real prison. They had guards with them the whole time. That's where they did their shots.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guards in the movie were real prison guards.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why when the two boys are like playing basketball, they're totally by themselves.
Probably.
They didn't want to put them around like killers.
Yeah.
But-
well,
but-
they had to do like the short scene where they're playing basketball. Those are real prisoners
in the
beside them,
background.
and they
Yeah.
said, whatever.
Well, I thought they were on like
They were
other-
extremely cooperative and did what we asked. He goes, I don't know what incentives or threats were made, but it worked.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking from the prison guard side, well, even on the prisoner side, is how cool is it as a prison guard? You go to work and now you're featured in this comedy classic that you can go, yeah, I was a prison guard, but I was also in My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
And as a prisoner, hey, you see that prisoner back there playing basketball? That's me.
Yeah. And the whole scene, we were laughing about the scene where he's, interviewing both of them in the jail cell.
Yeah.
That typically doesn't happen. They pull them into interview rooms because, like, the lawyers aren't allowed to go into cells.
Right.
But they messed up, and they had that scene, and then they're like, well, we got to keep it because it's super funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that scene's so funny.
Yeah. But
That- I
they
don't-
decided that no one was going to notice that interview should have taken place in the interview room.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
in a
because
cell.
the dialogue would not have worked
Yeah.
in an interview room.
Right.
At
So-
all.
So they changed it, or left it like that.
Mhm.
And then, when Vinny's convincing him to let him be his lawyer, he does a card trick. He had to learn how to do that.
Really?
Yeah, Joe Pesci learned to do a card trick just for that.
So according to the director, Jonathan Lynn, the eastern screech owl in the scene in the woods
Yeah.
was a real owl that had little prior training so it wouldn't be scared away by the gunfire. So the crew got it to open its mouth by giving it a little piece of beef and artificially induced screeches that were added in the film in post-production. The owl's reaction to Vinny shooting the gun was authentic and needed only one take.
I thought that's so. Let's do the poignant moments of the film that you remember.
Okay.
What do you guys remember? What stands out for you when you think of Cousin Vinny now?
Justin, you go first. I've got mine in mind, but
Oh, you go ahead.
okay. I was wanting to see how long it would take for us to get here.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it took us this long to get here. 2 Utes.
2 Utes. Okay.
I don't want to see how long it was going
That's
to
a
take
pretty
for us
good one,
to
'cause we're-
drop it.
And yep, the 2 Utes. Justin, what stands out for you? What do you see in your head when somebody says "My Cousin Vinny" now?
I got a real kick out of his girlfriend,
Marissa Tomei.
Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Devito. Yeah.
When she has to explain to him the concept of discovery. He thinks he's out there like working his magic with other lawyers.
Oh,
like,
getting the files.
and she's like, "You, please," like her like ringing him out for thinking he has to like go
So savvy.
schmooze in order to get to see what the other side has as far as evidence. And
Yeah.
she's like, "That's the law. You're allowed to see it." There's no,
They have to give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was pretty funny. I like that. What do you got?
I see a couple, and again, I've seen this movie a long time ago. But one of them is when he comes running out on the porch and just randomly fires the pistol, and then kind of like and walks back in, and the owl screeches again. And then 2 is Marissa Tomei. I think she made the movie, and I can't believe they thought about cutting her. But just her skimpy dresses, in the hick town,
Yeah.
and just her
Oh,
look. I think.
Over the top outfits.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think she just any scene that had her in it was good and for the most part funny, and
Oh.
especially the court scene.
Yeah, I was about to say when she took the stand.
Yeah, when he's talking to her and she refuses to look at him, I'm just like, New Jersey girl right there. Yeah, just doesn't matter, stubborn.
No
but
nonsense.
If you think I'm hostile now, you wait until later.
The
But-
judge is like, "You two know each other."
That would explain the hostility.
Yeah.
So, all scenes like that where, even though Joe Pesci did a great job and the rest of the characters did a great job, I felt like Marissa Tomei kind of carried it,
Yeah.
which even though it was unintentional by the studio.
So you bring up a very valid point, and we've not played it yet. So you said they was actually going to cut Mona Lisa's character out of the movie.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to play around a Would You Rather?
Sure.
Okay.
Let me just throw out there real quick.
Okay.
We're talking about the owl. That's part of the story is that they don't sleep for like the first 5 days they're down
Right.
there because every hotel or cabin or anywhere they go, there's something always.
Yeah,
Waking 'em
the
up at
hog
4 or
farm or
5
the
in the
hog
morning.
butchering place next
Hogs,
door, the freight
trains.
train, the whistle.
Yeah, steam whistle.
Steam town
Yeah.
whistle.
They go in the diner. He's like, "What was that noise?" He's like, "Oh, that's the local steam whistle." Gets everybody up, ready to work. He's like, at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, I had flashbacks when they was in the hotel room and the train goes by, because I literally stayed in a hotel for work a few years ago. Had no idea the train tracks was there, and I was asleep. And the next morning, 5:30. Oh, it's like, I've been there. Okay,
This
so
is like one of those "would you rather." It's when it's hard to imagine anybody else in this role. That's right.
yes, yeah, that's what makes
Yeah.
it hard.
Yeah, it is. I agree. I think you'll have an uphill battle here, Joe. But go ahead.
Okay, so for the role, okay, hold on, of Mona Lisa,
Mhm.
Nope.
Lorraine Bracco.
I don't even know who that is, but nope.
She was in Goodfellas and The Sopranos, Medicine Man, The Basketball Diaries.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Marissa, you had to be look like an Italian Jersey girl.
Yeah. Hard nosed.
Yeah,
Don't put up with any
you gotta
nonsense.
you had to have that kind of attitude.
Justin.
Nah. Next.
Okay. Debbie Mazar.
I don't know who that is.
She's played in Empire Records, The Insider, Beethoven Second, Entourage.
Possibly.
Extrovert.
She's got the. I've seen her in Entourage, and she is
Oh.
very,
She could carry out that role.
very sassy. We'll say.
I was gonna say, I'm seeing her picture on IMDb, and she almost had. She and Marissa Tomei have a very similar
Yeah,
looks.
they both have dark hair, dark complected.
And looks like a no. She just has that demeanor on her face. Looks like no nonsense.
Yeah, I could see her in there maybe. I don't know about her speech though.
Yeah. Is
She almost comes across as a little too cold. Like Tomei was able to do that balance of being firecracker while at the same time being like somebody you wanted to see. She wasn't turning you off by her
Okay.
negativity or meanness or anything. It was just kind of like
Yeah.
where Miss Mazar could take it to another level, not necessarily a good level.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so for Vinny, Jim Belushi.
No, not Italian enough. Not Brooklyn enough.
Justin.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he could pull it off, but
Be a hard sell.
yeah.
Danny DeVito.
No, I don't
Not
think so.
gangster enough, I don't think.
Yeah.
Gotta have a little bit of that edge. That he just seems more affable.
John Lovitz. He was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I've seen him in a couple movies. I mean, he's good, but he's kind of he plays silly roles.
Yes.
So I don't know because I've never seen him play. I mean, this is a comedy, but still kind of serious.
He was in The League of Their Own. Benchwarmers.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
Maybe if he has a capacity about him that I'm not aware of, but
Rat Race. What do you think, Justin?
he's always played those silly spoof movies.
Yeah, nah.
No,
Pass.
no sale? Okay. Judge Holler. Christopher Lloyd.
No, not tough enough.
Justin? We're talking Doc from Back to the Future.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Dave on this one.
Okay, and last but certainly not least, for the role of Stan, Rothstein, however they want to pronounce it. This one was kind of weird. Will Smith.
I saw that. I don't understand that at all.
I think I have an idea, but I don't see how it would sell. So
Yeah, I think it would throw the race card in,
that's what I'm thinking.
but this movie's not about race, and I think it would be.
A little bit. I mean, they're kind of like looking. Maybe the Southern people have a little bit of suspicion of these Italian kids.
I was gonna say I would.
Yeah, but I mean, not the black and white
Right.
issue.
right, because the bailiff was black.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so my thoughts are.
And there were black people throughout the film. I just
right,
mean,
right. So,
I think that would add another element to it that wasn't wanted.
well, I was thinking if they was wanting to pull him over because he was black, that wouldn't play out very well, considering.
Yeah.
Will Smith would not stand out in this situation because
Right.
there's black people around. Now, two Italian kids in Southern
Yeah.
Alabama absolutely stick out like a sore thumb.
Right.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But
I mean, how old was Will Smith at this time?
well, this would
Born
have
in
been
'68.
this would have been right before Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have been young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
just
just don't think so. I think it had to be two Italian
His
kids.
sidekick, I feel like, needed to be not a big character like Will Smith.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't have the sidekick. Or it just seemed like Ralph Macchio's the main kid and the other kid, which his little buddy. Some of it, I don't know. What'd you guys think of him? He was fine for his little side role, but some of his little antics were a little.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. I
They
mean,
They didn't put him in enough to where.
Well, the sidekick
thing.
had to be kind of a whiny character too.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He's pretty whiny throughout the whole thing.
Okay, so this would have been in the middle of the run of Fresh Prince of Bel Air because the first episode of Fresh Prince was on September 10th, 1990, and My Cousin Vinny was released in '92.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not buying it, Justin.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to picture. It just doesn't really make sense. Like they're supposed to be like two kids from the same neighborhood, grew up together and all that, which
Yeah.
it's not impossible, but just makes sense. A couple of Italian kids,
Well-
or I don't know.
Well, I think Will Smith's quick wit would have kind of hindered him on this one because, like you said,
Yeah.
the sidekick was kind of a whiny, weaselly, kind of a pain in the butt. Will Smith, everybody knows, no matter what role he's in, he has that quick wit about him, and I think that would have hindered the role.
Vincent Gambini came in at number 12 on the association's list of greatest fictional lawyers.
So,
I like how not to jump all the way to the end, but you know, obviously he wins. That's how the
Right.
story arc's gonna go. But he gets him off. But just how like the judge who totally looked down on him all this time, and he's coming at like following him out of the courthouse, and he's like, "Crap, he's gonna throw me in jail because he put him in jail like 3 times for contempt of court." But at the very end, he just like shakes his hand. He's like, "You're great. You're gonna be a great lawyer or whatever."
yeah, because
We're the finest lawyers I've ever seen, or something.
he had the papers and he thought, okay, he found out that I'm not legit.
Yeah. He's like, let's get out of here quick. And it's like trying to jump in the car, but everybody wants to shake his hand at the end. It's like part of the story is that the whole reason they're on trials, there's these 3 locals that are like swear
Yes.
that
Yeah.
those are the 2 that I saw.
Yeah.
So that's Vinny's task is to like cross-examine and try to, you know,
Put holes
put
in
holes in
their
their
stories.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grits was part of it because the guy was like claiming he was in the kitchen for
No real
5
Southerner
for 5 minutes.
uses
then he's
instant
like-
grits.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it takes 20 minutes to make grits. Like, oh.
I like it when he yells at him too. Are you sure about that time? Are you sure about that time?
Well, I guess maybe I'm not.
Yeah, I love how he's not a lawyer, but yet he was smart enough to
figure it out.
to figure
Well,
it out.
and Ralph Macchio kind of points that out. He's like, hey, you know, we had the magician come over, and my cousin Vinny's spot on, you know, calling out all his moves. It's like his worst nightmare. And I could see that in my head. I was like, yeah, that would be your worst nightmare. Have some wisecrack from the crowd yelling out exactly, you know, how you did it.
Okay, yeah, but how cool would it have been if this was real?
Yeah.
To have been like a fly on the wall during
Yeah, see it.
that family party or whatever. To see the whole Gambini family sitting there in a situation like that, and you got Vinny over there in the corner calling out the magician because you know that would have
Yeah.
just been rolling the whole time, just
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
back and watching.
And he says, yeah, maybe he doesn't have a bunch of lawyer experience, but he's like the best arguer
Yeah,
he's
that's
ever
what-
seen. He's like, the Gambinis know how to argue.
Yeah.
His buddy's like, my parents know how to too. He's like, no, they're amateurs compared to
Yeah.
Gambinis.
Yeah. Do you know Joe Pesci was a lounge singer for 6 years?
Really?
Yeah,
It's got some pipes.
I guess.
Oh.
And there's a Bollywood version of My Cousin Vinny.
The Sack of Suds, that is real.
Yeah.
It was filmed in Georgia, and the Sack of Suds is still open, and it's still called Sack of Suds. Guys, road trip. But unfortunately, the 3 hotels that are featured are all closed.
Dun, 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 dun. It's time to guess the budget.
Oh yeah, what
Ooh.
is the budget? Because they said they talked about this as a low budget film. They knew it'd make money.
Throw out your guesses now, and
I'm going to
closest without going over wins.
wins both prizes. I'm going to say 10 million.
Huh.
What are you thinking, Dave?
Man, it's got a lot of big actors and actresses in it. I'm gonna say 15.
Joe takes it. 11 million.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
Made 64 million at the box office.
Nice return on investment.
Yeah. Not quite NFT level, but
That was the 90s version of NFT. Oh, wow. That.
so 92, I would have been like in kindergarten-ish or first grade.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to picture if I ever remember like seeing this on the VHS cover when I'd walk around Roby looking at the VHSs back then. I think maybe. I don't know.
I remember the poster. I remember seeing the poster
Yeah.
in front of the Roby.
I don't know, how much did it make?
64 million.
Man, they did a good job on that one.
Yeah, almost made its money almost 6 times over.
I think when I saw it, I thought it was like a real serious movie or something. I didn't realize the comedy aspect. Even going into this, I didn't know what to expect, and I was happy that there's some funny antics going on throughout.
Yeah, because you would think that it would be more of a drama, because you hear My Cousin Vinny and you hear Joe Pesci's in it, and Joe Pesci, other than Home Alone, is always known for his kind of mobster mafia type movies.
Yeah.
You know, very tough guy, strong language, that kind of stuff, and never imagine a comedy.
Yeah. Kind of a silly role.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Marissa Tomei wins an Oscar, best
Yeah,
supporting
best
actress.
supporting actress.
Wow.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Oh yeah, like I feel like she carried the movie.
And that's a pretty tall order to take, considering how well everybody else played.
Yeah, I mean the quality of actors and actresses
Yeah.
was top notch.
Yeah.
Which you think about it, it's mostly men. Her and then of course the lady in the trial that had the really thick glasses.
Mrs. Riley.
Yeah, I mean there aren't too many women in the movie.
True.
It's funny when she's on the stand, the judge who's been like such a hard-nosed guy the whole movie, and then when she starts like going into all because part of it is tire marks on the road, like that's part of the evidence.
Right.
And that's what's gonna
The key.
eventually, get him off. And the judge is just like enthralled by her knowledge of cars. At one point, he's like, "No, I'd like to hear more." He's like, totally softens the judge up a little bit.
Yeah.
She's so entertaining up there on the witness stand, but she doesn't want to be up there, and she's like resisting it and fighting with
Bailiffs.
with Vinny the whole time.
Yeah.
They're a couple, and they're kind of fighting in the courtroom while doing a witness thing. It's pretty good.
And then the prosecution's trying to question her credibility, and then when she gets done, the expert's going, "Yeah, she's right."
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy that played the FBI expert on tires or whatever, he's came across pretty unlikable.
He's pretty dry.
He did a good job of being the guy you don't really like.
James Rebhorn.
Yes.
I've seen him in plenty of stuff.
He looks like
too.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
We played. Well, there. It was fitting then.
I think it was funny though when he's like, "What's your profession?" "Out of work hairdresser." "How does that qualify you to be an automotive expert?" "It doesn't. Thank you." Just go get up and leave.
So, the scene where we just talked about Mrs. Riley, the older lady with the thick glasses. So, as Vinny rolls the tape out through the courtroom there, and when excuse me, Vinny says, "Now, Mrs. Riley, and only Mrs. Riley."
Yeah.
Joe Pesci ad-libbed the "only Mrs. Riley" part, and I heard that. I thought that was hilarious, and I never thought, but it's awesome that just that little only Mrs. Riley is so hilarious, but yet that it's something that just completely ad-libbed.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to hold up like 2 fingers to see if her vision is good, and the judge is like, make a note that.
Yeah.
Because they did that in courtrooms where you had to like put it on the record,
Right.
so people know what somebody's holding up, or hey, for the record he's holding up this or that, or for the record they're in the.
Yeah. Let the record show you he's holding up 2 fingers. And unfortunately, Fred Gwynne, the actor that played Judge Haller, this was his final feature film.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, did a good job.
You know the guy that had the crusty windows? Mm-hmm. You know his real name? Did you guys read it by chance and notice that?
No.
Rain or Shine.
Really?
Rainer. And then his last name Shine.
That's pretty good.
So his name's a play on words. Rain or Shine. Huh. All right. My Cousin Vinny. Marissa Tomei, put her on the map.
She was only 27 when this film
Joe
was
Pesci.
released, and Joe Pesci was 49.
Yeah. He looked, I noticed that in the film. When I was looking at it, I was like, he looks significantly older than her. But it played off well, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ralph Macchio grown up, no longer Karate Kid.
2 Utes.
So, yeah. The 2 Utes, and they did that scene off camera when they were talking.
Yeah, it was based on an actual conversation.
All right, we got to put that in there.
Yes.
Because he's like, what?
Yeah.
What'd I say? What?
Yeah. Because it was
a little bit of a language barrier between the Southerners and the Jersey.
Yeah. And I like too the guy so here's something that stood out. So she has to go get him out of jail and pay $200 bail. She's like, I tried to hustle the money, Can you imagine a Brooklyn girl going into a pool hall to hustle somebody and shooting pool? Wins, and then the guy not paying up, but that whole thing.
That was a little weird, yeah.
But
it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it's so funny because he's like, so let me get this straight. You like to renegotiate. All right, yeah. And then he's like, I got the money. I can get the money. Like, we'll go get it, So he calls it the tough guy farm boy on his bluff. And so, yeah, that whole little sidebar of laughing or of scenario played out pretty well, I thought. I like it. Yeah. So you're going to kick my butt or I collect $200? Mm-hmm. I'm going with the collect $200. But anyway, funny stuff.
IMDb gives it a 7.6 out of 10.
Huh.
Rotten Tomatoes, 87%.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
That's a staple. It's a classic. Joe's picking the lobbing up soft pitches here for us, though.
Well,
he's trying to increase his ratings.
I've never seen it. I'm glad.
Howard the Duck drove him down so far that he's got to lob some soft ones.
I was trying to pull the nose of the plane up. Justin's been in kind of a slump here lately.
Downward spiral forever.
I've been hating everything I've been watching.
Yeah, he hated Die Hard, so I had to try to.
Crap.
Hating on Die Hard, man.
Okay, so I gotta say, Justin, if you honestly believe that you hate Die Hard,
oh my,
more power to you. But if you're doing it for ratings, I guarantee you will get ratings out of this.
Yeah, gosh. All right, My Cousin Vinny. What you guys thinking?
It's tough.
Let's rate this baby
I'm
up.
right between 2 popcorn sizes on this one.
Really?
But I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts. Maybe you can sway me.
I'm a solid large. I think you can watch this film at any time. It
Yes.
has laughs throughout. I would say overflowing large.
Okay, I'll go
Yeah.
large.
I'm going overflowing large.
Because I was overflowing medium coming in here.
Yeah.
Really?
And really.
I mean, there's
and
nothing
liked it.
bad in this
Yeah.
movie.
I liked it a lot, but I just tried to in my head say, is this a large movie? So.
And I think, Marissa Tomei carries it. Joe Pesci's funny.
Yes.
They carry off the being from the Bronx to a T. There's nothing I could point out to say this just stunk or this was wrong or anything like that. The judge played his role perfectly. Even the pompous other lawyer, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but you know.
The prosecutor?
Yeah, the prosecutor. Even he was kind of pompous. You know what I mean? He played his role well. He wasn't like unfair, but he was, haha, I'm going to mess with this New York boy to show him this country folks aren't,
Yeah.
the Hilljacks they think. So I thought it played out well.
Well, and to think that the American Bar Association
Yeah.
The gold standard and how law is practiced in the United States looks at this movie and says, okay, out of the top 25 legal movies, this is number 3.
Yeah.
And it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see, shows like Law and Order and stuff like that, but
Right.
to make a comedy like this hit that rank is...
I wonder if Liar Liar made their list. That had a lot of...
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yep, I'll go large.
All right,
You
Joe,
sway
what do
me.
you got?
I'm going with Overflowing Large as well. I loved the movie. I enjoyed it. Like I said, this is the first time in a long time I watched it, so it was almost like a new experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Is there anything that you saw that you're like, I do not remember that at all, like totally caught you off guard? Or
yeah, a lot of the town stuff. 'Cause I remember the courtroom, a lot of it, but a lot of the stuff that was the little Easter eggs, little crumbs to get you to the main story, the end result.
Yeah, I really got a kick out of the menu only having 3 items, just because they kept it going so long, as if they were like looking at all different.
Yeah.
You can't see what they're looking at on the menu. And when they show that breakfast $1.99, I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess we'll have breakfast. That was just funny. I thought they did well on that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give this an Overflowing Large. It pains me not to give this on a mop bucket, but there's just, and I cannot put my finger on it to justify it, but there's just something there that I can't put it on my list of all-time favorites, make it a mop bucket, but it is an Overflowing Large.
Yeah.
With no issues.
They almost go right up to the line with things, like the interactions with the cops being almost like a little too silly or
Yeah. A little bit.
a little unrealistic, but doesn't ruin it.
I mean, I'll even go back to like the scene where they're having a prison riot and he's sleeping like a baby.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but then again, when you're
funny.
going on 2 hours of sleep a day for 5 days,
Yeah.
you pass out.
Well,
I like it too when he's excited about it. He's like, no. She's like, I'll bail you out. He's like, no, leave me in there. I'm going to sleep good.
But you've got to think, if he's used to all the big city
Oh,
noise
yeah.
and chaos,
Yeah, that would be normal.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's just not used to screeching owls.
Okay, so the two movies that outranked My Cousin Vinny. Number 1 is To Kill a Mockingbird,
Yep. Atticus Finch, of course.
and the next one was 12 Angry Men from 1957.
I don't even know that one.
That's what outranked My Cousin Vinny.
Huh.
Philadelphia was number 8. Aaron Brockovich number 9.
Aaron Brockovich is a good movie. Philadelphia was a good one. You
I've
guys
never-
know what that one's about?
Mm-hmm.
Tom
I've not-
Hanks?
The AIDS
I've
thing.
not watched
Yeah,
it.
about AIDS. Tom Hanks.
A Few Good Men number 14. Chicago 15. Let's see. I want to see if Liar Liar's on here.
I doubt it. I don't know that that's.
Well, I wouldn't think My Cousin Vinny would be on there either, but
My Cousin Vinny takes place in the courtroom quite a bit, though.
Miracle on 34th Street ranks number 25. So Liar Liar does not make the
Top 25.
cut. Yeah. Great movie though. I mean, I've watched that movie several times over the years.
Oh boy, here we go. All right, so I like it. Overflowing Large is a good pick.
Yep.
Easy movie to like.
Certified Large.
All right,
Large.
you guys will get a kick out of this. I went on Google, did a random number generator for we've got a list of 127 movies on our fan picks.
All right, yeah, it is fan
And-
pick week. Here we go, fan pick.
I hit it. Guess what the first one was?
My
My
Cousin Vinny.
Die Hard.
Oh, Die Hard.
Out of all those movies, that's the one I picked for. All right, I'm hitting the wheel again.
Spin it again, James.
Bullet. Bullitt.
Now what it is, Justin, it's saying, you didn't give it a high enough ranking the first time. Let's circle back around on this one.
Is that a 1968 movie?
Looks like it.
Steve McQueen.
Is it available?
That's what I'm looking up.
Okay.
It's about the mob. So it's about a witness that's going to testify against the mob boss, and they got to protect him. Steve McQueen's a policeman. Huh.
The next one I picked is You've Got Mail.
Ooh,
if
I
that
like
one's
You've
not
Got Mail.
available.
Okay. I'm trying to get Bullet to see if I can get it up.
I like You Got Mail. That's an old one. Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan.
Bringing Up Baby.
Okay, Bullet is available on HBO Max.
Huh.
So you said You've Got Mail?
Interesting.
Okay.
1968. Steve McQueen. We haven't done an old movie for a while.
Yeah, I'm not opposed. It looks
Okay,
like it's-
so Bullet and You've Got Mail are both available on HBO Max.
Okay.
So it is up to you, gentlemen.
What do you feel like?
Huh?
Go with the old movie?
Yeah, I kind of lean towards Bullet on this
Alright,
one.
let's
What
do
you think,
Bullet.
Joe?
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I like it. Here we go. Bring on Bullet.
Next week, if you want to stay up to date, watch Bullet.
Available on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we covered it all.
Okay.
you guys
Another
have a-
week in the books. How many shows is this?
This is episode 43.
43. Almost up on the bicentennial
Yep.
number there. Big number 50 coming up soon. We're gonna do we gotta do something special for number 50. Okay.
Do a watch along down at the Roby, just so we get the popcorn.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. No show number 43 in the books. Have been there. Watch that. Anything else to add before we sign off here?
I don't have anything. Joe, you want to take us home?
Joseph.
All right, sounds like a plan. So for, excuse me, got choked up there for a
Boy.
second.
Get all excited about this
Yeah.
closing out part.
Well, I pulled out a movie that got Justin out of his slump, so I mean,
Jeez.
it's worth being excited over.
Okay.
So for more news and reviews, check out our website at beentherewatchthat.com. Be sure to follow us on social media at BTWTpod, and send us all of your submissions, requests, reviews, and tell us if we're on top notch on some of these movies, or if we completely missed the mark. And send us the movies you want us to review, and we'll add them to the playlist there. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Been There, Watch That. All of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm.
Nice. All
What's
right.
the best way to send those to us? Like just Facebook or
You can send it to us through social media or on our website.
okay. You can do it right there on the website.
Yeah, they can
Alright.
they can submit
Cool.
comments and on our website.
Okay.
Been there. Watch that. Go to the website. Submit movies.
I feel like we need to have like a T-shirt made that says "Been There, Watch That."
I think we need to make fun of whoever submitted some of the movie names. Be like, listen, Frank, you're a lug nut.
Yeah.
Stop submitting those names of movies. Anyway, all right. Well, another good show. So get caught up, get ready for Bullet 1968, Steve McQueen. Go back in a little bit of a cultural show, a little bit of history there. And if it all goes bad, that's going to be on Justin.
No, it's fan pick. So we
It's
can't
fan pick, but Justin said, yeah, this is a good go. So, his next on the line. 2 weeks in a row, he gets it. You already have your pick for next week, or are you going to wait?
I do not. No.
Going to wait. Okay, all right, here we go.
Are you putting his neck on the line just because he dumped on Die Hard?
No, I don't care about that one. But anyway. All right, well, been there, watch that. Show 43 in the books for myself, Joe, and Justin. Make sure you get out there. Make sure you see that and watch our shows. Get ahead of the game here with Bullet from 1968 with Steve McQueen coming up next week. This week, my cousin Vinny. Joe delivering us a slam dunk.
I tried.
You're working hard on getting out of that Howard the Duck slump. Okay. All right, so for us here at the studio, we'll be back next week with more. Been there, watch that.